Hi guys, welcome to Bat Balla. What a magnificent day if you are an Indian cricket team fan. Great victory, 336 runs victory against England in the second Test match at Edgbaston to register their first ever victory, Test victory at Edgbaston. Right, great performances all across. Starting from Shubman Gill, Akash, Mohammad Siraj, Jadeja. I think everyone chipped in. Uh, I think we'll go into the details of the game. But when the team got announced and when I saw the combination, especially the bowling lineup, I was not too confident. I was a little skeptical. I had a discussion with multiple friends that India probably has gone too defensive. Uh, but again, I think the way Shubman led the side, the way India batted, especially in the first innings, I think set up a brilliant platform for the victory. So one of the greatest Indian wins in the recent past. Your initial thoughts on the same, Sulesh?
No, I mean, like you said, it's a very historic win. I mean, for a young team with a new captain to come into England, face the baseball, and win by 300 plus runs in just a second Test match.
Yeah.
It's a great testament. I mean, great testament to the overall character of this team. And happy to see it coming out like that. And the captain leading from the front. I mean, what more can you ask, right? As an Indian cricket fan, I think Gill is now going to the pedestal of the greats of the Indian batting, and he's leading from the front. It's so nice to see he taking responsibility, and that's sort of adding to his batting. And overall, so good. I mean, without Bumrah as well, right? You see Akash Deep coming in, Siraj in the first innings. I think these two, as a bowling pair, performed really well for India. And glad to see that this team, in spite of all the things that were against them, the first innings loss, the first match loss, and the fact that you don't have your premium bowler with you, they have come out really well, is what I thought.
Yep, Suresh. I think you mentioned about the first test. That was a tough pill to swallow because India kind of
Yeah.
dominated that 70% of that game, and literally on the final day, they let it slip away from their hands. So, and it's a rare thing to win a test match. In England, in Australia, in any of the SENA countries for that matter, right? But let's start with the toss and with the team selection. England once again won the toss, surprisingly again decided to put India in on a absolute belter. I think there was hardly anything for the bowlers. And England struggled, right? In England have had their own share of worries, especially with the fast bowling, they're definitely missing the swing and seam and the experience of the likes of, dare I say, Anderson and Stuart Broad. But again, even the likes of Marco, Jofra Archer, probably they were heavily missed. But a moment on the India's attack, I thought India went with a very defensive mindset into this test match by not picking Kuldeep, by going ahead with Washington Sundar instead of Kuldeep, and to sort of give them that extra batting depth in the lineup. Were you surprised by this approach? Because I know India had a lower order collapses in both the innings in the first game, but still it was their bowling which probably required more denting and painting rather than batting.
Yeah, no, I was surprised, right? I mean, three all rounders. If you look at it in hindsight now, I would still think that like Nitish Reddy was hardly utilized in this match, right? And I mean, his spot in the team has to be questioned now, right? Do we really need so many all rounders? And Washington Sundar, yes, he got the crucial wicket of Ben Stokes today and scored a 40 odd in the first innings as well. I mean, if the wickets are so flat, do you really need that many batsmen? Won't you need a bowler who can help you out with the workload? And somebody like a Kuldeep may be looked into the next match in place of Nitish Kumar Reddy. I really don't think why we should go with three all-rounders. I mean, I think that's too much luxury with the batting. And okay, good that you had Akash Deep and Siraj bowl out of the skin this time. And I mean, it's too much workload, right? You don't want a scenario where one of them breaks down, and then you're really stuck with okay, your all-rounders or part-timers coming in and bowling. I really think India should. I mean, it worked out for the favor because both of them bowled really well, but I don't want those things to come in again. And I really hope that maybe a Kuldeep gets in a look in the next match, and I'm sure Bumrah is going to come in instead of Prasid mostly. But I mean, the lineup was a bit strange for sure. Yeah,
No, fair point on that. Bumrah is definitely going to be back in the next game, so
yeah,
probably it will be Prasid who will be sitting out. Let's start
yeah,
with India's first inning batting efforts, right? Uh, Solid opening stand. I mean, Kale obviously fell early, but
yeah.
then Yashasvi again was looking so damn good. He made 80 odd. and he was looking due for another century. I think he has had this habit of taking on the opposition premier bowlers early on in the first innings. Right, he did that in that Australia tour. He's doing it in the England as well. But man, the way Shubman Gill batted, I think there has always been question. I think let me tell you a very interesting thing. When Shubman before this series, before this the captaincy thing, his test average was around 34, 35, right? And
Right,
all the
yeah.
greats of the game, media guys, even we were like not really sure, if it was a wise choice to make Shubman the captain, especially in the first tour in England. The struggles against the Indian team, the struggles, the batting struggles which he had had in the past over the past 3 4 years. The
Yeah.
inconsistency. But man, in the two games, he's got 500, 600 odd runs now, and
Yeah.
he's taken his batting average from 34 point something to now 42, 43. Any thoughts on that?
No, it's crazy. I mean, one of the great innings of all time, right, by an Indian player. And see, okay, you can always say that okay, it's an easy track, right? But it's not. I mean, forget the track. Just completely forget the track. The fact that this guy spent so many balls and what, not even one fall shot, maybe, and that's unbelievable batting. I mean, the mental attitude for that, the physical strength required to stay all those overs with that concentration. And look, okay, even if you put an argument saying it's an easy track, right? What about the other batsmen? No one really scored in this match. I mean, okay, your number one player is Joe Root, right? Joe Root is now 4 innings, 100 odd runs. So it's not like it's an easy track for everyone to bat. It's not. It's really not. And to come up with like performance like that in both the innings, I think. I mean, this. I don't want to jinx it, right? I mean, and to be really frank, I'm pleasantly surprised as an Indian fan that now Gill is. It's like it's hand in glove. It's come out so easily for the Indian fan to see that the captain has taken that spot so nicely. And touch wood. I mean, I hope the form continues. I hope he leads from the front. And one of the best innings I've seen. And just the guy is so much oozes class, right? I mean, he doesn't look tensed. There's no unnecessary coming down. That I mean, when he comes down the track, he's so much in control. I think that control is such an important part of Gill, right? And that's never falters, irrespective you're on 100, 200. He's so much in control, and that's so good to see as an Indian fan.
I think I probably some internet issue at your end again. But I think fair point on
Okay.
Shubman Gill, right? Uh, I think class, technique was never a question mark. It was about the temperament, right? And the way he has handled his, the captaincy, the additional pressure of captaincy, and the way he has suddenly out of nowhere shown like he's sort of reiterating on the fact why he's probably rated as one of the future greats of the game across all the formats. And I hope, like you mentioned, his form, the class of Shubman Gill, the form of Shubman Gill continues in the next three games as well. And don't want to jinx it, but definitely is on track to sort of challenge that Don Bradman's record of 960 odd runs, in a highest runs in a particular series. Would love to see Shubman continue the form. Uh, and I think we'll have to talk about. I think a couple of other guys as well. Rishabh Pant. Let's talk about him again in the same in this first innings. I think there was a situation where again we had lost a couple of quick wickets, and once Karun Nair fell, then they had a small partnership between Jaiswal and Gill, but Jaiswal fell. But the way Rishabh Pant has probably shown the world why I think more in the second innings, but in the first inning, I think it was more the partnership between Jadeja and Gill rather, which
Yeah.
sort of ensured the safety for India, because India was sort of reeling at 220 odd for five, and this was a track where India had to score at least 450 runs, because we saw that what happened in Leeds. You suddenly you make it 370, 380, and that's never enough, especially with this kind of approach which the English team follows. I think Jadeja. I was not sure about his place in the side, to be honest. I'm still not, because of his bowling limitations. But I think he's answered the critics in a fairly good style.
No, you're right. I mean, I think it's time that if you're having Jadeja in your squad, right, you probably consider him as a batsman. I have looked at him like that. I'm really not looking at him as an all rounder anymore. Yes, he's a really good spinner, right? But in these conditions, I don't think it's ideal for him. And I'm sure he himself looks at it as a batsman. And he as a batsman, he's been really great. I mean, even this match, right? What 250s in 15 both innings. So he's really performing well as a batsman. I have no complaints about that. Again, Washi came in and like you said, I think this the one of the ways to target or attack this England team is to bat them out, right? You just like you said, right? If you don't do that 500 score, you are put in the back foot so early, right? And then you know that what you have as a chase for them towards the fourth innings is a very small target. So the one way to target them is to bat them out, and that's what India did. That's exactly what India did the both innings. And one of the reasons why we went for the batting depth is for that, right? That how long can you bat and how much can you score? So Washi came in with a crucial partnership again, 40-100 partnership with Gill. I think India put up a really daunting score for them. And if you come to the England first innings, right? I mean, other than those that two particular innings of Brook and Smith, it was a very bizarre innings. I think what 6 ducks or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if those two innings were not there, I think they would have been bundled out for less than 200.
I mean, I had that complaint with the India's bowling other than Bumrah in the first test, right? Because they were all over the place, be it Siraj, be it Prasidh Krishna. I think there was no consistency with respect to line and length, and it was all about one man show. The dependency, complete dependency on Bumrah. But I think the way Indian bowlers started in the first innings, especially I know Siraj only got a wicket, one wicket in the first spell, but
Yeah,
that Siraj spell was really special, and it was sort of unplayable. And I've always said that, Suresh, even in the first game, why not play someone like an Akash Deep and Arshdeep over Prasidh Krishna, especially in England, someone who can swing and seam the ball, right? S-
yeah,
Akashdeep reminds me of Shami in so many ways. He'll hit those hard length. You'll
yeah,
invite the batters to drive. He might go for some runs. That's the way England plays, right? But he's always looking for wickets, and that's the beauty of Akashdeep. I think the way he has hit those lengths early on, along with Siraj, I think it ensured that in England top order was in disarray. They also had a couple of close moments with Brook early on. The picture could have
yeah,
been entirely different in the first innings for England, if those calls had gone in India's favor. But I think barring that Jamie Smith and Harry Brook partnership, I think there was nothing much to show for England. They had a huge partnership. It was sort of frustrating to watch because the ball was not doing anything. But the
yeah.
moment India got the second new ball, Akashdeep was brought back and immediately he created an impact. Brilliant bowling by both Akash and Siraj in both the innings rather. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And what a partnership, right? I mean, we have to give it to them, right? 300 runs. It's not very often that you see a 300-run partnership, and it just kept on going. I mean, you would be like, okay, they reach 100, they reach 150. Where does this end, right? And Jamie Smith, what a find for England. I mean, I messaged you also on this. I think what a wicketkeeper batsman, a decent keeper, and I think this is what they wanted Butler to be, right? I mean, they thought that
Yeah.
that would what he would become, but Jamie Smith is that person and like a good successor to Bairstow. I mean, Bairstow lost form towards the later part of his career, but I think they have found a very good replacement in Smith, and I am surely looking forward to watching him play this series as well as the Ashes. I think he's a find for England. But yeah, I mean, the way Siraj and Akashdeep bowled again, Prasidh was very disappointing. I mean, we discussed this last
Yeah.
time also. The first innings, he just didn't get the length right. It was those short of the length, and Jamie Smith and Brook, right, such great pullers of the ball. They were just finding it so easy and unfortunate. I mean, I hope that he comes back stronger. May not be in this series, but later on in his career. I mean, he's good, but it is no way what we expected from him in the first innings. Yeah. But again, I thought India got a good lead, and once you came back in the second innings, I thought again Kale gave a good start to India, and again it is a Gill show after that.
No, Suresh, I think I, as far as I am concerned, I think the series is pretty much done for Prasidh Krishna since Bumrah will be back in the
Mm.
next game. And Bumrah is lined up to play a couple of games in the next three, right? Maybe 3 and 4, or
Yeah,
maybe 3 and 5, depending on the situation or depending on the result of Lord's game. There will be one more test where probably they will need someone else to fill in Bumrah's shoes, and I see probably Arshdeep making a cut this time around because
yeah,
I think Prasidh Krishna is somewhere out of sorts, and you don't need you need a fighting third change bowler as well. Otherwise, it will be a lot of heavy dependency on your top two or strike bowlers, which may not be the right approach in a lot of cases, right? But I think one good point again, the moment Akash Deep got the better of Harry Brook in the first inning, I think India was able to wipe out the tail pretty quickly, and I think that created an impact over there because tail has always been a problem for India, of late, where the tail enders sort of whack their way, add another 50, 60, or sometimes more than 100 runs, and it creates a lot of difference. And the moment India got a lead of 180, I think we all knew that India would need something really special to sort of mess this up. And thankfully, they did not do anything special. They just batted the way they batted, right? And KL, but I think that Rishabh Pant knock, that quick fire
Oh
50,
yeah,
60, that I think probably changed the momentum completely in India's favor. And Shubman Gill was again brilliant. One thing which probably I wanted to touch upon is the approach of Jadeja, the batter in the second inning, uh, when wherein the others were sort of playing. I'm excluding Rishabh Pant because he's playing in a different
yeah,
planet altogether. But even the likes of Gill and others were trying to strike the ball at 70, 80 strike rate. But again, Jadeja was like really defensive. I'm not too sure if this was something which was told to him to sort of hold the fort, or I thought again it was a little too defensive. Luckily for India, that did not damage their chances. But with the rain looming around, and probably I was a little anxious early in the morning today because of the rain threat and everything. But I think that was a little weird approach. But other than that, I think India pretty much got bang on in the second innings as well with the bat.
yeah. No, I mean, I want to have an add-on question to that. Did you think we ended up declaring late? I mean, what 600 too higher score? You thought?
I think they just wanted to bat England out of the game.
Yeah,
Because the approach of this, the arrogance, I would say, of this England side is that
yeah,
no matter what score you put, they will go after that. That I think
yeah,
Harry Brooks said that a couple of nights ago as well. That whatever they put up for us, we'll definitely go for the chase, and we're not gonna settle for the draw. So considering that in mind, plus the ghosts of the first test, India definitely wanted to ensure that England has no way in the game with the bat, and to probably plant a seed in their minds that they have to go for a draw. And we all
mm,
know that maybe apart from Root and maybe Brook, I don't know, not too many English batters are there have got the game to sort of block their way out of the test match. That is not their style, right? So
yeah,
maybe they could have declared a 10 or 12 overs earlier, maybe once they cross 550 mark. But again, I think they just wanted to ensure that there's not even a percent chance of England coming into the game with a bat. But I think rain was always a factor, so maybe they could have got that additional 8-10 overs yesterday with the new ball as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and I thought initially that what are they doing? Why are they wasting time? And like you mentioned, the Jadeja innings, right? It was so bizarre,
I, I
especially
think
after
I
you
think
see
more than the
Rishabh Pant
time.
playing like that.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
than a time, Sunil, it was Jadeja's knock, which sort of sounded
yeah,
a little weird because if you're batting you and with those many wickets in hand, it was just
yeah,
India had to go for it, right? And they somehow waited till tea for that moment. And in the first hour post tea, I think they had a lot of runs. They played with some tempo, and this
yeah.
probably changed the momentum.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. I mean, I think like you mentioned, the big factor is playing on England's ego, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like you know what, go for it. You know what? Okay, you want to go for it, go for it. We're giving you 600. How much can you go for it? Let's try. Can you go at six and over? Try, and right? They will try. The way Ben Duckett started, okay, maybe Jack probably didn't start the way, but the way Ben Duckett played, you knew they're going for it. I mean, they're stupid enough to go for a 600 also. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we put up that target and gave that. What? Why don't you go for it? And I mean, I think India bowled well. I mean, I really wanted them to take a couple of wickets up front yesterday, and to take three, and that ball to Joe Root, man. I mean, if there was
Oh
a
man, that
ball
was beauty.
which you would want to if you want to replay over and over again, I mean, the world's best number one ranked batsman completely cleaned up, and I mean, Akash Deep, right? That shows that he's arrived on the big stage. Every English commentator after that, like, okay, who's this guy, man? I mean, if you can get Joe Root out like that, that is the ball of the series so far for me.
Yeah, definitely, Sulesh. I think one of the greatest balls which I have watched in the recent times, right? And where probably Bumrah is not involved. But I
Yeah,
think I think Akashdeep has got a big heart, uh, and India always knew that they will go for this because they don't have the
yeah,
defensive game, the likes of Duckett, Oli
yeah,
Pope, even Brook and all these guys, they don't have that defensive technique, defensive mindset.
yeah,
So they will play their shot. And the beauty of this 600 runs that India was able to, throughout the game, they were able to afford to put
yeah,
the fielders in the attacking positions and not worry about the runs for that matter. So I think that was a good approach. Maybe I am not too sure. बारिश हुई आती तो शायद हम लोग we would have been in a different discussion. But luckily for India, I think they deserve to win. Thoroughly deserve to win. They completely outplayed England in all the three formats and in both the innings actually. Barring that Brook and Smith partnership, I don't think England has done anything in this Test match. To put up a show.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, second inning, Sulesh. The pitch was cracking a bit. But man, again, even today, the way Akash Deep balled, I think is sensational. And to get 10 wickets in a debut game in England, I mean, technically it's not a debut game, but debut game in England. I think it's not an easy task, and it was not an easy wicket for the bowlers as well. They were made to toil hard. It was not a straightforward typical England pitch where you'll just release the
Yeah.
ball and the ball will do something on its own.
No, no, you're right, absolutely right. And like you said, right, cracks are there, but if you can't make use of these cracks, there's no point, right? And you needed somebody like Akash Deep's accuracy for that. And boy, he was so accurate. I mean, he just targeted that cracks, right? And the ball to Harry Brook, that is purely off the wicket ball. Nothing would be done about it. I mean, and like you said, bowled with a very very what do you call strong heart. I mean, came out really hard and hit the right lens. I was a bit surprised that Siraj didn't open the bowling with Akash Deep. I thought opening with Prasid was a bit of a gamble, but fortunately Prasid didn't concede too much runs,
Yeah,
and that helped again Akash Deep concentrate on his line and length. And to get the early wickets, I mean, once Pope and Brook were out, I mean, you knew it's a matter of time, right? I mean, you don't have, like you said, none of them can defend, and Ben Stokes of anybody cannot defend. And
yeah.
once the people like Jadeja start bowling on the cracks, you're
Oh man.
always worried. You're always on the back foot, and exactly what happened. Once you got those early wickets, then it is just a matter of time.
I mean that pitch was perfectly set up for Jadeja, and the way he was bowling
Yeah,
to Ben Stokes, he was looking that he might get Stokes on any given ball, right? Uh,
yeah,
but I think I one more point which probably I want to talk the umpiring, the standard of umpiring in this particular game was so
yeah,
high. The Bangladeshi umpire, I think Saif, I'm forgetting his name. I think it was top notch, some top notch decisions he made. Even that Ben Stokes decision, it was a very hard one to pick.
oh yeah,
Yeah, well, it was bad. And typically, umpires try to play safe, and I think he was bang on in most of his decisions, right? Even the decisions which
yeah,
were referred, most often them were either umpire's call or went in his favor. Tremendous umpiring, and it is really good to see that such these kind of games have got the umpiring level sorted as well, which
yeah,
at times become a bummer. So hats off
yeah,
to the umpires as well. Cool. I think we've got only a couple of days. The next game, the big one at Lord's, gonna start on Thursday, the 10th.
yeah,
And one thing is gonna happen is England's gonna rope in Jofra Archer, probably in pace of either Josh Tongue or Kars. And India's gonna definitely rope in Bumrah with most likely Prasidh Krishna sitting out, making the way for Bumrah. Are you anticipating any other changes in the Indian side?
No, I am. I don't think Ritesh Reddy was utilized today in this match, and because of that, I mean, somebody like Kuldeep who can add that extra variety for you the bowling lineup. I think Kuldeep may be looked into again completely depending upon the pitch, right? I mean, if you feel that there is overcast, you want one more fast bowler, maybe they may go for Nashdeep. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think Nitish Kumar Reddy's spot as an all-rounder is justified when you already have a Washington Sundar and a Jadeja. May not go for Kuldeep because you already have two spinners now. But an extra bowler for sure for Nitish is what I'm thinking. But otherwise, I think the rest of the team looks very settled. And like you said, England, I'm pretty sure Jafra Archer is going to come back in. What do you think? I mean, will they keep Nitish or
No. I think they will stick with Nitish. My hunch is they might probably get in Kuldeep in place of Washington Sundar.
okay?
Because if the kind of the way Indian batting is going on the top order and the middle order, I think you don't need three all rounders in the squad. And
Yeah,
we saw a couple of moments in this game as well, where especially when that the partnership between Brook and Smith was happening. I think Indian bowling was sort of looking clueless with that old ball, right? And you'd want a wicket taking option with the old ball as well. I know there is Bumrah. Bumrah's gonna be back. He might definitely create an impact with the old ball as well. But I think we should have a spinner in Lords. Probably in place of Washington Sundar. I know he batted well. He did his job pretty well in the second innings with the
yeah.
ball as
Only
well.
problem for me was
But
Nitish's batting performance. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But I think they will stick with Nitish Reddy because you
Mhm.
might need a fourth seamer in England. I think that
Yeah.
fast bowling all rounder. I know he did not do too much with the bat, but again, I think in the second inning he did not have any hardly had any opportunity as
Yeah.
well. And the way Siraj and all these guys bowled, I think there was no scope for his bowling as well. So I think it might be a little too hard for the selectors or for the management to sort of drop him at this point of time, but definitely a place for Kuldeep in the 11. Somehow they have to figure out a way.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think we'll be going with three all-rounders again in this pitch, right? It's unlikely. With the series now at 1-1, I mean, both the teams. I know England again. When Bashir was batting, they seem to be in a very relaxed mood. I mean, obviously, it's cricket, right? So you win or you lose, and I don't think England were too perturbed by the loss, and that's how the attitude should be, right? It's just one match. It's just two matches in the series. I think both the teams feel that they have a good chance, but I am now slightly giving an edge to India, especially with Bumrah back and the way Gill is playing and leading the side. I think the momentum is now on India. And Lords, historically, we have been playing well, right? We won that
Yep, yep,
great match where Ishan Sharma bowled so well when we covered that also in an earlier video. But I
yep.
think Lords, India would be really looking at with a positive attitude.
No, I think even I would feel that India probably will be a little more confident as compared to England getting into the game because the momentum obviously is within India, and plus the Bumrah factor will also be there. But one thing which probably Indian team would be wary of is the Jofra Archer impact, because our
Mm.
currently what is happening, the top order is not getting challenged as much as England probably
Ah.
would have liked to do. And that's what someone like an Archer could probably bring onto the table, right? So, I as an Indian top order batter, as an Indian captain, probably Gill would be really wary of that threat because he knows what Jofra Archer can bring into the table. Other than that, I think India definitely will be a lot more happier side going into the Lord's Test, and I think it's going to be a big one because if India manages to win a Lord's, then I think on the way. Shubman Gill probably is on the way to create a history.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward to that. I mean, the new era of Indian cricket has started, right? And what
Yeah,
better than to start off with a winning note in the series? So looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah. See you guys. I think we'll come back with a preview of the next game.
Yeah,
Maybe on Wednesday, hopefully. Yep. Please enjoy the victory
sure.
till then. Ciao.
Yeah. See you. Bye.
Bye.